Let's move right into vaccinations. We've got a couple minutes on that before the next break. Check this out. Remember when they said that vaccines don't cause seizures? They said that for years, even while InfoWars and Natural News and other organizations were reporting, hey, wait a minute, these vaccines are causing babies to go into seizures. And some of them are dying. Some of the babies are ending up in the hospital in comas. Some of them end up paralyzed. This is fact. This is happening right now. Well, the vaccine industry and all of its paid-off doctors and vaccine pimps all said, no, it's not possible. Those vaccines couldn't cause those seizures. It's just not possible. If they were causing that, we would know about it, they say. Well, it turns out, not only do they cause these seizures, but now the medical system admits that the seizures are being caused by the vaccines. And now they say you're supposed to ignore the seizures because that means the vaccines are working. Are you getting this? All right. First, there were no seizures caused by vaccines, they say. Now they say, oh, yeah, there are vaccines, but the vaccines are good for your baby. The seizures are good for your baby because they show the vaccines are working. Now they say you're supposed to show these 5 S's when your baby is suffering from a seizure and the brain is being eaten by the mercury and the formaldehyde and the other chemicals in this vaccine. As your child is suffering and their neurology is going haywire and they're actually burning out their brain, you're supposed to do these 5 S's as a parent. The 5 S's, they are, believe it or not, swaddling, side position, shushing, swinging, and sucking. Sounds like a bad weekend in Vegas to me, but that's what they're telling parents to do to their babies when they're suffering from a vaccine seizure. It's true. We'll have more details on that. Plus, another death of a baby after 9 vaccines in one day, all that and much more right here on The Alex Jones Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back with much more. In any case, I want to bring in Jon Rappoport from NoMoreFakeNews.com to comment on that issue, and then let's get into the vaccine seizures of babies and why is it that doctors are saying seizures are now good for your babies. Jon Rappoport is, of course, from NoMoreFakeNews.com. He's a researcher, a journalist, a really intelligent investigator, and he's hosted the Alex Jones Show before as well. Jon, are you with us today?
I am, Mike. Great to be here. Yeah, you like it, it likes you. I grew up with that. I remember it very
on today, Jon. We've got in our world today, the corporations are marketing poison to children. The vaccines are probably, of course, the best example of that. Now, the 7-Up marketing to children probably stopped a couple of decades ago, well, at least in the blatant way that it's shown here. But the vaccine marketing is in your face right now today. What's your latest information on the vaccine front, Jon?
Well, the government is still trying to deny, of course, that there's any link to autism, despite the fact that it's been shown that they actually paid out 83 parents of children, brain-damaged children, and the brain damage from vaccines. And these children all had autism. So they've actually paid it out, linked to vaccines. They've as much as admitted that there's a link, while on the other hand, the PR machine keeps rolling on and saying, oh, there's no connection, no problem, and everything's fine, and vaccines have nothing to do with autism. So this is just sheer, it's lying.
But how long can they keep this up, Jon? It's clear that the truth is getting out there. Even Donald Trump went on Fox News and said his own employees took a baby, got multiple vaccines. 3 hours later, the baby was autistic. Even Donald Trump, and he's in favor of vaccines, and he's speaking out against it now.
Well, they're running out of room, Mike. What can I say? You know, all they can do is scream at people who point out the fallacies and who say the truth, and they can say, well, you're wrong, you're not a scientist, you wouldn't know. And not only that, but you're dangerous, very dangerous, because you could keep people from getting their children vaccinated, and then, the world would end.
Well, that's the message of Melinda Gates now from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that anyone who questions the Bill Gates vaccination agenda might be hurting people. No, you can't question their campaign of mass vaccination. You might be causing death, they say. So those who are actually killing the children are saying that the people questioning them are the baby killers.
What I want to see at a big speech of Bill Gates in a giant hall is one of these kids from India who's one of the 47,500 who've developed paralysis from the polio vaccine that Gates is supporting. I want to see one of those children come up the front aisle, down the center, in a wheelchair, and look at Bill Gates and say, "Thanks, Bill." That's what I want to see, because that's what's really happening.
Yeah, exactly. We need to have the confrontation of truth here. And there is this wave of polio across India today, or polio-like paralysis, but it's not being caused by polio in the wild. It's being caused by the polio vaccines. In fact, Aaron Dykes and Paul Watson did a story on that, posted on Infowars.com. So it's gotten to the point where the diseases are now being caused by the vaccines. We even had the Institute of Medicine admit that the measles vaccines cause the measles.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that in a story that I researched many years ago and got a tremendously reliable source to tell me, in the early 1970s, the United Nations says, well, we wiped out smallpox in Africa with the vaccine, and it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to humanity, and so on and so on. Well, I know for a fact that after that campaign was over, there was a secret meeting in Geneva, secret meeting of the World Health Organization, where they decided, a committee, that they would never use that vaccine again. And the reason? Because it was causing smallpox. That was it. But on the other hand, they said, oh, we absolutely wiped out smallpox in Africa. A highly, highly dangerous vaccine that they put on the shelf, and they hid the facts from the public that they were actually causing smallpox. But
then at some point they must have realized, wait a minute, this smallpox vaccine is great at reducing the global population. Let's keep the vaccine agenda moving forward so we can actually cause fatalities and reduce global population and just feed right into the eugenics global depopulation agenda, which Bill Gates openly admits he's a fan of. I mean, it's all right there.
Right out there. He's right out in front.
All right, we got to go to a break. We'll be right back with more with Jon Rappoport, more about vaccines and other topics straight ahead on The Alex Jones Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.